Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And again, this is Lady Grace, and this is Thursday, July 13th, 2023. And God is an awesome God. I'm here with you, amen, on Building a Spiritual Body on Soul Sisters 10X Network, where I come on every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. to encourage us to be dedicated to building our spiritual body because it is our reasonable service and it will build us up. So in our time of famine, or in the time of famine, in the time of test and tribulations, we will be able to stand and be strong because we have built ourselves up that we can sustain in the midst of a storm. Good morning, Sister Vanessa. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're blessed. Good morning, Sister Sandra. Good morning to you. I'm excited today. I'm well rested. I was like, okay, I can't wait one more minute. I hit the button at 5:55. Good morning, Sister Annette. How you doing? And Sister Laretha. God is just an awesome God. I feel like going on. I feel like going on. I feel good today. I feel good. I'm not going to sing for you right now, but though trials come on every hand, I feel like going on. My kids say, don't even try to run. Don't even do no runs, Ma. Don't even leave it alone. Leave it alone. Good morning, Tanisha. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. I'm excited today. I just feel good in my mind and the spirit. I believe God has been blessing me each and every day, and I hope he's been blessing you too, because that's how he is. He's a blessing God, right? He's a good God. Today, again, is July 11, 2023, and we've been talking about faith and trust and things like that this particular week, and I'm still going to continue and still building on the foundation, which has already been laid. And today we're talking about surrender. This morning, we're talking about surrender. Now, surrender in faith, excuse me. Okay, forget it. Surrender and faith are similar because they have some of the same properties, but they're different. Okay, they have some of the same properties, meaning we utilize both of them in trust. However, they have some different properties. Yes, surrender. And so faith is operating in the dark. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence is not seen. So I'm in the dark. I don't see it. I don't know what's coming up next. The doctor says this, but I'm walking in faith. It's raining outside, but I'm in my mind, I'm trusting in God that I'm dry. I'm walking, but I'm trusting in God that the car is on the way. Darts and arrows might be coming all around me, and I'm confused and I don't know where to go, but I'm still walking in faith that everything is going to turn out for my good. I don't see it. I look to the left, I look to the right, I don't see nobody, right? I don't see nobody. I look to the north or south, I don't see nobody. But my faith, my trust, my confidence is in God that I believe that he's going to turn this all around for my good. That's faith. Now, surrender. Surrender it's daylight. I see the darts. I see the arrows. I see the turbulence wind. I see the rain. I'm experiencing the storm. I'm soaking wet. I'm drenched, right? And though we can say, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. What? I want to cover myself. I want to put up an umbrella. I want to do this, but it requires a trust in God that he was going to bring it all out for my good. So surrender means I have to give up my will, that active things that we have in life as a part of our nature. It's part of our fleshly nature that we have a will. When something drops out of the sky or come towards us, my will puts up my hand to block it and deter it because I don't want it to hit me. A will. I see, the puddle. I'm naturally going to jump over it because, my mind, my will. I want to. I don't drive cars with. I drive cars with cruise control, but I don't utilize cruise control because I like to be the active one utilizing and driving the car. However, now they start, backup lights. People back up, because of the camera. I back up because I have skill. I like to be the one in control. But surrender is giving up my will, that thing that's innate in me, that for me to do, to go, to protect, to make sure everything works out for grace. I have to give that up. I have to surrender it, right? And let God. So it's another level of trust. We have faith, trust in the dark, not seeing, and trusting in God, because I don't see a way. I don't have a switch to turn on so light can come. So I just have to trust in God. That's faith. I don't have a switch. Surrender is I see the switch. However, I don't touch the switch because God is in control. I think of it similar to, a basketball game. Was thinking about a basketball game, and the good players, the best players, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, Johnson, Bird, the good players, the Jordans, the good players, when we in the heat of the moment, you pass us the ball because we're going to make the shot. We're kind of like guaranteed to make the shot. And so, it's the heat of the moment. It's the last go round. We got 5 minutes in the game. Don't be playing with the ball. Pass the ball to someone that's going to make the shot. Okay. This is surrender. Surrender is, God got this. He got this. I can't say, pass me the ball, God. I want to intercede. God got this. Let me give you another example. When something happened, or maybe something happened with our children or our mother or sister, friend, family, and then they're going through some controversy and somebody might challenge them, the teacher challenged them, or somebody at the grocery store challenged them, and we want to step in. They're in front of us and they're handling the situation. We want to step in and go, no, you don't. You, that's my daughter. That's my son. We want to take in and defend them and save the day, but it's God. Surrender is like, God got this, through the storm, through the rain, God got this. We have to give up our will. And this will, again, is innate in us. And so someone also parallels it to a war, because surrender is a war term. And so in this life, like I said, we were born in sin and shapen in iniquity. Is because of Adam, his fall from grace, right? His fall from grace. So in this particular war, this earthly war that we're dealing with, we are each born in a sin. And so therefore, the Bible says that Satan is the god of this world. And so in Satan being the god of this world, when we're born, since we're born in sin, then that means we're born on his team, right? So that means we're playing against God. Okay. We said the basketball game, we're playing against God. And so we're born on his team. But when we come to an age of maturity, of consciousness, okay, we have to decide, we have a moral. We have to decide what team we want to play on, because now we have a consciousness of right and wrong. Children, when they're a young age, they don't have a consciousness of right, wrong. They'll do anything, say anything, touch anything, no conscience. But you come to an age of maturity, you have consciousness. And so your moral consciousness that's innate in you, right? You have to choose ye this day whom you going to serve. Are you going to still be on Satan's team, the god of this world, or you going to move over to the other team? And so you have you're going to choose whether I'm going to live for God or whether I'm going to live for Satan. And I always say the scripture: if you seek me, you'll find me. If you search for me with all your heart. So if your heart is searching in God, you receive God. You're leaning onto God. However, to leave Satan's field of battle, we must put the white flag up and surrender to God. You mean a surrender to God. And so that means we cross over the field from Satan's battlefield and we cross to the other side. And now we're with God. But with God, the difference here is we don't do the fighting. He does the fighting for us. And so no matter I'm on his team and it looks like we're losing, because this is not faith where it's darkness. We see everything that's going on. It looks like I'm losing. It looks like they are winning the battle. It looks like in 2023 that they're gaining more position. They're gaining more leverage. They're gaining more people. They're gaining more popularity. It looks like they're winning. And so me, Grace, and those others that are like me, we're anxious over here. We're like cringing over here. We want to do something. We want to act. We want to be motivated. We want to be in control. However, I surrender, and my thoughts are playing with me. I'm losing, what should I do? We got to do something because we're losing. And sometimes we get anxious because we don't see what we want to see. We don't see the gains that the other one are doing. We don't see the popularity. We don't see the respect, right? And so we get anxious. And so sometimes we get anxious that we move back to the other side. Because it looked like we winning. They're winning. We just give up because, I don't know why I joined this team. It's not going nowhere. It's not doing anything. The people are not coming. Nobody's playing. So-and-so is not playing his guard. He's not being defensive. She ain't even making jump shots that she should be making because she's been saved for 30, 40, 50 years and they're not playing again. Like simple techniques you just failing to do. Forget it. I'm going to the other side. Because I want to be engaged. So God is requiring us. Christ said in Mark, he said, when he that come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, not his sword, not his gun, not his mouth, not his fist, right? He said they must take up their cross and follow me. God's fight is humble fight, and it takes power within oneself to lay down one will and to live humble. You think of the battle, you think of, strong arms, everything is real physical, right? But with God, it's a peaceful walk. And how are you walking in peace and living in peace and living in trust when chaos is going all around you? How do you not act? It's because my will, that innate thing inside of me is turned over to God, and I'm allowing him. It's like somebody come in the house, say my husband, for instance, he's always watching all the sports, and stuff like that. His favorite team is the Lakers or the Cowboys. And so you come in the house and you ring the bell and you go, Pastor Herman here, or so-and-so. So I said, oh, he's upstairs sleeping. And you go, wait. The Lakers are in the playoff. The Cowboys is finally in the playoffs. And in this game is going to be the decision of whether they finally take home another championship after so many years. And he's upstairs winning, upstairs sleeping. It's unheard of. It's unthinkable, right? But however, that's how we are supposed to surrender to God. Why can he sleep, or why should we sleep during this perilous times, meaning trusting in God? It's because we know what the end is. The fight is fixed. Somebody preached it. The fight is fixed. I'm upstairs sleeping. You wonder why I'm sleeping and the battle is on and everything is held to sleep. I'm sleeping because I know whom I serve. I know who I trust in. I know it looks like they're winning. I know it looks like all of they're playing chess and all of the board members, the checkers are on their side of the team, and there's only 2 or 3 of us left, few of us left, and I'm sleeping, I'm resting like Jesus in the hull of the ship when the storm was raging and everything was happening, and the disciples said, Master, how do you sleep? What? I have Jesus. He's on the ship. He's got this. So that's why I can sleep. And it's already written. The fight is fixed. We win. So that's how I trust. I surrender my will because I know whom I serve. I know whom I serve. And so, we all have a measure of faith. We all have a measure of surrender, because it takes faith in order to receive God. It takes faith to put on Jesus Christ. It takes faith to even pick up the cross. And also, surrender. We all have surrender. When we said I'm a Christian, that was a level of surrendering, right? That was one level. But we have to move on from glory to glory to glory. We have to steadily increase. We have to, again, build our spiritual body up so we can get in a position that we have intimacy with God, to know the thoughts he thinks of us, to know that he is desiring to give us an expected end, that we can get to that level of comfortability, that though the storms are raging in my life, I'm anchored. I have to get to that position. And unfortunately, but fortunately, we know that to get to that position, we must, what Paul says in 1 Corinthians, I think it's 15, 31, I think it is 15 and 1, I'm sorry, die daily. We must die daily. In dying daily, and that's a daily activity. It is positioning us, purifying us, glorifying us, that we'll get into that calm, that though things are happening, I know God got this, because I have purging out my will and come in subjection and alignment with God, and therefore I don't get up riled and active when other things are going on, because I have now gained more intimacy with him. People lying on me, people talking about me, I'm anchored. The job says layoffs, the man say the rent is due. I don't know what to do, but I'm anchored. You see what I'm saying? Family has turned their back on me. People saying you're strange. You need to come out that crazy religion, but I'm anchored, right? Maybe when I first start this race, when people came up against me, had oppositions against me and talked about me and things like that happened, I was ready to fight because my will was still fresh. I put the flag up, I came to the other side, but I still had some energy within me. I still was battling some things, but now that I've been saved for long, things that used to bother me don't bother me, because now I have a better intimacy with God. I've been praying, I've been fasting, I've been seeking his faith, I've been reading his word. So now I'm anchored, right? Alcohol doesn't bother me no more. Drugs doesn't bother me no more. Men or women don't bother me anymore. Why? Because I'm anchored. I see them, I see the appeal, but I'm anchored. I see the drugs, I see the alcohol, but I'm anchored, right? And so that's why we builded our spiritual body, so we can get to that level of intimacy, that in the midst of the storm, in the midst of trials and tests and tribulations and persecutions, right, that I don't have to be rocked, I don't have to be shook, I don't have to tell somebody to tell me, calm down, breathe in, breathe out, count to 3. I don't have to be in that place, because now I'm anchored. Again, I'm always natural with the spiritual. There's something natural that they tell you now. They talk about ketosis and keto and running on keto. Keto is, if you don't know, I'm saying it real fast. Keto is when your body don't run off of carbohydrates, it runs off of fuel, fat, right? And so they said it's a cleaner kind of fuel. It's like, the high octane gas. And so when you cross over, what happened, you have to fast for so long, maybe fast for 3 days or fast for 4 days and eat no carbs and stuff. And the transition is hard, from getting your body to run off of carbs and carb-like substances of rice and milk and, bread and stuff, to get yourself, stop yourself from running off carbs and get to ketosis. You purge yourself. You must purge. And you have hunger for these carbs, because this is how you live. You lose strength. You can't lift weights like you used to lift weights, because you was running off of carbs. And so sometimes you just want to give up because it looked like you're failing. It doesn't look like it's something for you. So you just want to give up and just let me just work out with my carbs. I was buffed, I was strong, I was doing it, I was dropping the weight, I was picking up the weight, but they tell you that ketosis is better for you because it's clean energy. Marathon runners that I talked about yesterday, they are now, before they used to run and they used to keep packs of carbs like in their shirt, in their bra, in their shoe or whatever. So when they getting dehydrated and stuff, and they feel like they hitting that wall, they would suck up some carbs to give them that energy to flow further and finish the race. But on ketosis, because you're running off of your own body fat, and fortunately most of us have a lot of it, right? And so you're running off of that, so you don't need to carb up. Your body is going to draw on all the fat that's in his body, and you can run longer periods of time on clean energy. Your mind don't cave in, your focus is still clear. You're happy, you're smiling, you're not dropping at the end of the race because you're running in ketosis. And that's what you do when you get more intimate with God, that you're running in ketosis. What happens when you're struggling and you're going back and forth and you're wavering? I'm going to quit and do this. I'm going to quit and get my boyfriend back. I'm going to quit and start smoking. I'm going to quit and start drinking. Like, it's not all of that, because you're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of the transformation. You have faith. You did submit, but you're not totally engaged. So now you need to get in a position that you're in ketosis. You're fully there, and now you're anchored. And still, each day, challenges will come, because the enemy is going to challenge you until the very end when the battle is going. But there is a hiding place that you can get to in security, that you can, and you stay. What you do to get it, what my mother used to say with a man, what you do to get him, what you do to have to keep him. When you get there, you're still going to have to, nourish your body spiritually in order to stay in that safe haven, safe haven. So I want to read real quick. I came on early. I'm still going over. I want to read real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and we're going to start at 3. Listen, it says, for we have a spiritual body and we have a fleshly body, and the scripture tells us that one wars against the other. However, we must live after the spirit. We must live in ketosis, the spirit, not the flesh, which is the carbohydrates, right? And so this is Paul, I believe, saying here, he says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. That means because God is doing the work, he's pulling them down for us. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalt itself against the knowledge of God. Anything that take us away from God, we're casting it down, right? And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Every thought, anything that comes to us, we bringing it to the obedience of Christ, right? To the obedience of Christ. And 6 says, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when our obedience is full. That means everything that's disobedient, everything that's not like God, everything, we're casting it down, unto the obedience and throwing away everything that's disobedient. I surrender my will. I surrender my will to his. Another message that was preached years ago, it says, come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up. Have you surrendered today? Have you surrendered? That's another also. All to Jesus I surrender. That means I truly, there's another song. I give myself away. I surrender. I'm totally, now we might have surrendered some, but we want to give it all. Come out with your hands up. I surrender. That's my message on today. That's my thought. I was blessed. I hope you were blessed too. I hope you are surrendering, and we can surrender each other, and so we can encourage each other and build each other up in the faith. That's my goal, to help build us in the faith as I am building myself. Be blessed and have a great day. Love you.